The camera pans over a crowded courtroom. A frail woman stands alone before the judge, her trembling hands clutching a small photo of her late husband. The judge smirks, leaning back in his chair. "So, Mrs. Turner," he says mockingly, "you think a group of bikers can save your house from foreclosure? Maybe they'll ride their motorcycles through the court next?" The courtroom bursts into laughter. The widow's eyes glisten, but she doesn't speak. Suddenly, the heavy wooden doors creak open. The laughter stops. A dozen leather-clad bikers step in, their boots echoing on the marble floor. The leader removes his helmet, revealing a face the judge recognizes. "We're here for her," he says in a deep, steady voice. "And you, Your Honor, owe her an apology." Cut to title card. Backhand index pointing right. A judge laughed at the poor widow until the bikers walked into the courtroom. Emma Turner had lived in Willow Creek her whole life. Her husband, Daniel, was once the town's mechanic, the man everyone trusted when their car broke down. Together they built a small life full of simple joys, an old wooden house, a garden full of roses, and their only son, Tommy. But tragedy doesn't knock, it barges in. One rainy night, Daniel never made it home. A drunk driver hit his motorcycle head-on. The man who killed him walked free after paying bail, thanks to a slick lawyer and a friendly judge. Emma was left with hospital bills, funeral costs, and a house sinking under debt. She worked 2 jobs, cleaning houses by day, serving tables by night, but no matter how hard she worked, the bank letters kept coming. Then came the final notice, foreclosure. The court date was set. She had no lawyer, no money, and no one to stand with her except the memory of the man she'd loved. Court day. Emma arrived early, clutching her late husband's photo for strength. The courtroom buzzed with whispers. People from town who once borrowed Daniel's tools now stared at her like she was a stranger. Judge Halston presided, a man known for his arrogance and cruelty toward the poor. He was the same judge who had let Daniel's killer walk free. When Emma tried to explain her case, her voice trembled. "Your Honor, I'm not asking for pity. Just more time. I've almost paid off the medical bills. Please, this house is all I have left." The judge leaned forward, smirking. "Mrs. Turner, this court doesn't deal in feelings. Facts only. You signed the loan, you didn't pay. That's the law." Laughter rippled through the courtroom. Even the opposing lawyer chuckled. Emma's knees wobbled. She whispered under her breath, "Daniel, I wish you were here." And just then, the courtroom doors opened. A thunderous sound echoed, heavy boots, leather jackets, the faint jingling of chains. The crowd turned. A group of 12 bikers strode in, heads high, eyes burning with purpose. At their front was a tall man with silver hair and piercing eyes. He looked directly at Emma, then turned his gaze to the judge. "Your Honor," he said calmly, "before you make your ruling, you might want to hear the truth." The judge frowned. "Who are you people?" The man took off his helmet. "Name's Rick Dalton. President of the Iron Brotherhood. Daniel Turner was one of us." A murmur rippled through the room. Rick walked up to the bench and placed a thick envelope on the table. Inside are records of how Daniel helped rebuild this community, how he fixed cars for free, repaired old folks' bikes, and even saved your own son from breaking down on Highway 12 2 years ago. The judge froze. He remembered. That night his son's car had broken down in the storm. A biker had stopped to help. That biker was Daniel Turner. Rick continued, voice steady but full of emotion. "You laughed at this woman, but she's the widow of a man who gave everything to this town. The least this court can do is show her the respect she deserves." He turned to the audience. "Brothers, show him." The bikers stepped forward, one by one, laying cash envelopes on the clerk's desk. "For Emma," each said. They'd sold their bikes, parts, and even pawned their gear enough to pay off the mortgage. Tears streamed down Emma's cheeks. "Rick, I can't accept this." "You already have," Rick said softly. "Your husband saved us. Now it's our turn." The judge stood speechless. For the first time, he looked ashamed. Finally, he spoke. Mrs. Turner, the court recognizes your debt is paid in full. Case dismissed. The room erupted in applause. The bikers lifted Emma onto their shoulders, her tears turning to laughter. Epilogue, emotional closing scene. Months later, Emma's garden bloomed again, roses everywhere, Daniel's favorite. The Iron Brotherhood still visited every Sunday, helping fix her porch, repaint the fence, and share stories about the man she loved. As the sun set over Willow Creek, Emma smiled through her tears. You see, Daniel, kindness never dies. It just rides on. Fade out, emotional music plays. Message on screen. Broken heart never judge someone's worth by what they've lost. True wealth is in the hearts they've touched.